Hello, this is Khush, your local realtor, and today we will talk about the typical renovation costs and how to fix up and flip a house. Here we go. Okay, so today we will talk about two budgets. Let's say if someone has $150,000 down and then they can buy a condo and flip the condo, or if you have a higher budget, let's say $350,000, and then you can buy a typical house in Surrey, anywhere in Fraser Valley, and flip the house and make some profit. So let's talk about the higher budget first. So let's say you have $350,000 down, you could buy a typical BC box. I would suggest buy a 1970s built two-story house, typical BC box, something that looks just like this photo. They depends on the neighborhood. You could easily get them anywhere from 1.2 to 1.3 depending on the neighborhood. Let's say anywhere in the nicer normal neighborhoods of Surrey, Langley, Port Coquitlam. Maybridge, they're a little cheaper, but try to get them in Surrey, Langley. It's usually easier to resell in the future. So let's say you get the typical BC box for around 1.25, anywhere in Queen Mary Park, Bear Creek, Fleetwood, East Newton, West Newton, Royal Heights, anywhere in the normal area. So Fraser Heights is a little too expensive, and 70s built houses, there's barely any of that's mostly 80s or 90s. But anywhere in the middle of Surrey should be okay, as long as it's on a quiet street. It's a rectangular lot, hopefully a 7,000 square foot normal lot with 60-foot frontage. Get that for 1.25, or of course as cheap as you practically can. Of course, being reasonable, you can't just offer someone $1 million, and if they're listed at 1.3, that is not realistic. Of course, if they're listed at 1.3, offer them 1.2. Maybe we'll meet in the middle. We'll settle at 1.25. Get it for 1.25, 250K down, and keep 100K extra for the renovation cost. So let's dive into what goes in the renovation of a typical BC box. A BC box or a split level house usually has 3 bedrooms and 1 or 2 bathrooms upstairs, and a bedroom usually, or sometimes 2 bedrooms and a bathroom downstairs. Some of them have a kitchen, some of them don't. The most important thing in a BC box, make sure to not buy a split level house if it does not have a separate entrance to the basement suite. So only buy a basement entry house. Of course, the reason being we need to make a basement suite, or it wouldn't really make sense. It will be really hard to resell in the future. So buy a typical 2-story split level house, 3 bedrooms upstairs. Make sure it either has the second bathroom upstairs, or at least the space to make the second bathroom, or usually there's one in the ensuite in the master bedroom, or just a typical bathroom which is shared with the other 2 bedrooms. In the basement suite, make sure there's enough space to have 2, hopefully 3 bedrooms and a kitchen and a small enough living room, and of course the entrance to the outside. Sometimes the entrance is through the garage or the carport, but if possible, if you have the option, of course, try to get one which has the entrance in the back and not through the garage. And make sure to buy the one which actually does not have a kitchen downstairs, because we want to force appreciation. We want to make the equity. We don't want the already built nice house. We actually want to buy the worst looking house, so that there's less people looking at the house, which it doesn't really look as nice, and we want to make it look as nice as practically possible, so that in the future when we go to sell the house, there's a lot more number of potential buyers. So again, this is what a typical split level house or BC box looks like. This is on a normal 7,000 square foot rectangular lot, without any power line issues, without any creek issues. There's no easements. This is just a typical normal split level house. Most of them do not have a garage. Most of them only have an open carport here. Some of them do have a garage, of course, and most of the ones that do have a garage, the garage is actually converted into some sort of living space. So this is a typical floor plan. Usually, as I said, there's 3 bedrooms, 1, 2, 3, and usually 2 bathrooms. Sometimes the ensuite is missing, and just the kitchen, dining, and the living room on the other side, and of course the stairs going to the basement suite. So this is the upstairs. Usually it's like 1150 to 1250, sometimes 1300 square feet on a typical lot. I'll let you know exactly what we're doing here. So let's quickly talk about the basement as well. So this one specifically has 2 bedrooms. Some only have 1, and the living room. We don't want too big of a living room, because it doesn't really add much value, and we don't want too small of a living room. We don't want to be a slum lot. We want a normal, this is perfect, like 12 by 10 is like a normal size living room with the plus the kitchen. So this one already has the kitchen, but we want something which does not have the kitchen. Just so we want to add the, usually kitchen adds like 50 to 100K in value. Like a basement suite is typically, a basement entry house is a lot more expensive than the one which does not have a second kitchen. So this one has a bath, and of course the single garage and the entrance. Luckily it's not through the garage. Well, there's one of course through the garage as well, but there is one right from the suite. And this is exactly what you need to do right now. So you need to update 2 kitchens, 2 or 3 bathrooms, the flooring, paint, pot lights, zebra blinds, and doors, and some bifolds or the closet doors. So this is where majority of the forced appreciation is. And there's some other small stuff which we'll talk about right now. And this is what a typical kitchen looks like. No matter what, never ever get the old style cabinets. Every single new house, every single person that's renovating an old house and flipping is using this high glossy white acrylic cabinets. Doesn't matter the color, sometimes could be a little different, some like especially like this one, sometimes they even put like 2 different tones of colors. Doesn't really matter, price is almost the same as long as it's white or white enough with the black matte handles. This is where it is now at nowadays. Glossy acrylic cabinets, it's super easy to clean. It's just every buyer nowadays is looking for these types of modern looking cabinets. Countertop wise, do not put laminate. That is yes, it's cheaper, but you don't want to, you don't want your property to come across as a very as a quick fix and flip, even though you are fixing and flipping, but at least it should be decent enough so that the buyer wants to buy it actually, because buyers are smart nowadays. It shouldn't be like too cheap of a product. Every brand new house is quartz. Granite is like 7-8 years old now. There's some high-end luxury granite houses that use granite, but for most fixes and flips and new houses, quartz is where what every builder is using nowadays. There's quartz which has the dots, that's also 4 or 5 years old nowadays. Do not use that, that's old. Nowadays this is where the money is. The white glossy quartz with some sort of a pattern. The pattern doesn't really matter, just don't go too heavy on the black color. It should be like normal to the eyes. It should be white with some sort of black pattern. And this is another similar style of kitchen. Quartz countertops and acrylic high glossy white cabinets. Some of the houses have extra storage or closet space here. This is a load bearing wall, so if possible try to get rid of this wall, and it will have a post, and then you'd have to put a beam as well, but it's worth it. The more open concept we can make, that's what the modern buyers are looking for nowadays. And the most important thing, the price. Of course it depends. There's many different GCs or general contractors or different tradespeople who will give you quotes which will vary a lot, but the typical cost of a typical kitchen like this, including the appliances could be anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 for the package. For the dishwasher, the stove or the range, and the fridge, it's like $3,000 to $4,000, $5,000. Including the appliances, it's anywhere from $12,000 to $18,000. That's like your typical kitchen with your modern cabinets, modern quartz, and the modern appliances. And let's just take the average. Let's just say $15,000 for a typical kitchen for upstairs. This is another example of a typical kitchen. Of course, the price will of course depend on the size of the kitchen as well. You should always try to have an L-shaped kitchen with an island with 2 cabinets. So not the wall here, just a typical L-shaped open concept kitchen. This is perfect. No one will complain about less cabinets, and you don't want it to be too many cabinets because that's going to add to your cost. Let's say $15,000 for a typical kitchen. Let's talk about bathrooms now. Same exact cabinets, same exact countertops. So high glossy white acrylic cabinets, quartz countertops with the same pattern as the one in the kitchen. We're changing the flooring. We're putting tiles in the bathroom, not laminate, because laminate is not waterproof. There's some that's 72 hours waterproof, and there's people put vinyl, but we want to put the normal shiny white tiles. And of course, you could put a shower or you could put a tub. There's barely a difference, like a couple $100 difference. Some places the same exact price. Put a shower in, honestly, it's easier, but of course, try to put a bathtub in the ensuite and a shower base in the bathroom, which is shared with other two bedrooms. And this is another style of bathroom, very similar, so same quartz countertops, just a different pattern, acrylic cabinets, just a different color, but the same exact high glossy. The vanity style is a little different. Try to just get the normal one if possible, because these are prone to leaking, and some people prefer not to have the ones over the counter. Just get the normal ones, and of course, this one has a bathtub. And of course, the toilet seat is replaced, and the vanity lights are replaced. So for bathroom, you need to replace the entire bathroom, literally from flooring all the way, everything. So the vanity, including the faucet, the vanity light, the toilet, the bathtub or the shower, including tiles all around the shower or the bathtub wall, and the tiles downstairs or on the floor. Everything in total, again, depends on the size of the bathroom, but a typical, this one looks like an 8 or 9 by 6 or 9 by 5, 11. That's a typical size of a bathroom in the 70s built houses. Anywhere from $9,000 to $13,000. That's the average. Again, many factors depends on the size, but let's just say $10,000. That's the typical price of a bathroom if we want to change everything. This is what a typical bedroom looks like. We're changing the flooring of the entire house. We do not want carpet, the old style, of course. And if some parts of let's say some bedrooms have been updated already, just get rid of the old laminate flooring. Just install the same flooring throughout the house. So of course, in the kitchen and the bathrooms, we want to put the tiles, the white glossy tiles, and everywhere else we either want the 72-hour waterproof laminate or the vinyl flooring. Same exact price, very minor difference, depends on the color and the pattern. Most of them are typically around $2 per square feet. And then, of course, to install, that's another $2 per square feet. That's, in total, it's like $4 per square feet for the flooring for a typical vinyl or the laminate flooring. So for $2,400 house of 2,400 square feet house, it's $9,600. Let's just say $10,000 to replace the entire flooring of a typical 2-story house. And then you need to change all the light fixtures. So you need to put pot lights, pretty much as many as you can, in all the bedrooms, in all the living areas, the kitchens, the bathroom. They usually cost a couple $1,000s. It's not too crazy expensive, but it needs to get done. So the pot lights, all the small things, nothing should be old inside the house. So the vents, the light fixtures, the zebra blinds, baseboards, every single thing should be new. It doesn't cost thousands and thousands of dollars. It's a few $100s for the zebra blinds. It's like $15 a square feet. That will probably be the most expensive thing. And the baseboards probably going to be like $1,600 for like a 2,400 square foot house. Everything needs to be changed. Inside, the bar needs to feel it's like a brand new house. Outside, it's too expensive, so don't touch anything outside. But inside, all the small things need to be changed, including the bifolds or the closet doors as well. It's like $100, $200. It's every door needs to be changed. Don't worry about putting the ones, the expensive ones with the mirror. As long as they're new and if the handle looks good enough, it's usually okay. And of course, the doors also need to be changed if they're old and they're dilapidated. So other than that, it's okay. Don't worry about the windows. Of course, if it's a foggy window, then of course you need to change the window. They're usually $500-$600 per window. This is probably like double that. This is probably like $1,000 for both the windows. So all the small things need to go. And this is the zebra blinds I was talking about. They come in different colors. Just get the normal white ones or the silver ones, or black one is also trendy nowadays. Totally up to you. It doesn't really matter. Not a big deal. Some people change the fireplace. Depends. This is it could get costlier. If your existing fireplace it looks decent enough, and if you could repaint just the stones, just do it. Don't worry about changing it to electric one. But if it's like totally like it looks the shittiest fireplace ever, then just change it to electric one. That will go a long way. So of course the flooring has been changed, the pot lights, and some big light in the middle. So this is a typical living room of a BC box. And for the chandeliers, change one in the entryway and change one in the dining room. Honestly, they're not super expensive. They're like a few $100s. And the normal white LED ones nowadays, they go a long way. They look super nice. They make your house look very bright and new, and it sort of looks like it's you can tell right as you enter that the house has been renovated if you see a big chandelier right as you enter the main door. Moving on, this is what a typical basement kitchen looks like. Honestly, doesn't matter. Don't worry too much about the basement kitchen. Do not try to make it a super huge kitchen with like lots of cabinets. It's not going to get you more money. Just a typical small, normal, just on one wall is fine. But if you have, of course, if there's a window here, do not worry about extending it to this wall. But if you don't have a window right next to this wall here, then you could make an L-shaped kitchen. But do not worry about making like too big. This size is typically good enough. So a typical kitchen upstairs is like, let's say $15,000. Downstairs is usually $11,000, $11,500, somewhere around there. And a very important thing, please, for the love of God, stop putting these white appliances. They are so 2010. Yes, they're of course cheaper than the stainless steel appliances. Of course, upstairs, of course, you're definitely getting nicer style stainless steel. Maybe the fridge has a screen. Once it's not huge price difference, you can get the nice fridge for like $2,000 upstairs. Downstairs, do not get the white ones. Get the normal stainless steel ones. Maybe look on Marketplace if you want to save every single dollar, but get the stainless steel ones. Do not get the white ones. But of course, nothing expensive. Nothing, the $2,000 fridge, of course not. Maybe like $1,300, $1,400 fridge is fine. $1,000 for the stove is fine. And the dishwasher, sometimes they don't even have a dishwasher, then it's okay, you save the money. And of course the faucet, it's whatever, it's like $100, $200 max. If that's like really high end faucets are like $50. And do not leave the closets empty. Put some California style closets in each bedroom upstairs. Downstairs, you don't need to put the expensive California style closets. Just get the IKEA ones. I think they're called like Brimes or something. The one with the glass sort of a door in the middle. They're like $330 from IKEA, and with delivery and install a user for the same handyman that you're using, it's like $500, $400 per bedroom downstairs. And moving back to the floor plan, the stuff that you've done until now is usually good enough to get you a good return. But if you want to go one step further, listen up. There's usually a deck upstairs, and there's some empty space on the ground floor. If the height of the deck is more than 6'5", then you could easily cover the deck and make another bedroom. The ceiling height is not like a typical 8-foot ceiling in a basement, but it's 6'5", 6'6". But the size of the bedroom would be pretty big, like something like 12 by 15, or depending on the size of the deck. Not like a typical 10 by 10 a bedroom in the basement, right? Doesn't matter if the ceiling height is like a foot smaller, but the size of the bedroom usually makes up for it. So we have added a bedroom here underneath the deck in the basement. Of course, if there's most likely not going to be a door connecting the space underneath the deck, our bedroom, to the basement, we need to make a door. Don't worry, it's not super expensive. It's like a few $100, maybe $1,000 max, including the door and the supply. So we have 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms now. If you want to go one step further, if there's a garage here, you could make a 10 by 10, 11 by 10 bedroom right here. Of course, we cannot make it here because there's the window and there's the door here, but make 11 by 10 ish, depending on whatever the size of the garage is. Make a bedroom here. If there's no window, make a window. It's doable. It's not super expensive. So we've added a 4th bedroom, and there's a living room, and there's another small living room as well. A 4-bedroom basement suite nowadays typically goes for anywhere from $3,700 to $4,000 a month, depending on how many people you want in the basement suite. the best thing you can do, either rent it vacant, or sorry, sell it vacant, or rent the basement suite. Do not rent the upstairs, no matter what. Do not rent it if your intention is to flip it. Rent the basement suite per bedroom. Give it to Try to give 2 rooms to single people and 2 rooms to couples. Usually pay $1,000, $1,050 per room, so let's say 1,000 per room, so 2,000 for the 2 rooms. And for the other 2 rooms, for single people, they usually pay $850 to, well, $800 to $900, depends on the market, how good the rental market is doing. But let's just say 800, so 800, 1,600, and the 2,000, $3,600. So $3,600 from the basement suite. You do not need to make a second basement suite. Even if you made a second basement suite, you will still get a very similar rent. So a 4-bedroom basement suite is perfect. You're not making an extra kitchen, you're not making an extra bathroom, you're not taking on the added risk of the city coming in and giving you a works of order. You're just making bedrooms, and there's already a bathroom, and you're just making a kitchen. So that's where you get the forced appreciation. Let's talk about numbers now. You bought the house for 1.25. You spent $25K on the closing costs, so 1.275. You spent $100K on renovations, so 1.375, and then there's of course the selling commissions, the mortgage breaking penalties. Assume around $40K on all the closing costs when you're selling. So 1.375 plus $40K, 1.415 is the all-in cost. What can you sell a typical renovated house with a 4-bedroom basement suite and the fully renovated upstairs 3 bedrooms on a typical 7,000 square foot lot anywhere in the nicer Quiet Street area of Surrey? The answer is 1.475. Yes, it depends. There's many variables. Depends on the market. It could be 1.45. It could be 1.55. But let's be very realistic. Let's say 1.475 is the sale price. 1.475 minus 1.415 is $60,000. So you'll make $60,000. Hopefully everything should be done in 4 months. A month and a half of renovations, and then a couple more months for the closing, because the buyer typically will need a month or 2 months to complete on the property. So 4 months, you make $60,000. You spent $350,000. Let's look at the ROI. So you put down $350,000 and you made $60,000 in 4 months. That is 17% return on investment. Let's say you do, of course it doesn't make any sense to make $60,000. You spend so much time and energy. We need to do 3 of these flips every year. So 1 every 4 months is 3 per year, so 17 times 3, 51% return on investment is what you can expect per year. If, of course, there's many variables, the market could go down, but we have a beautifully renovated house. In the worst case scenario, we could always rent the house, and hopefully the mortgage will cover almost the entire house. Worst case scenario, we have to wait. Best case scenario, we make 51% year over year. The average return on investment in like an S&P 500 is like 8%. If you can make 50%, it's crazy. Yes, there's taxes. The government will take almost half of your whatever you make. It's the same in the stock market or any way you make money. It doesn't matter. Capital gains. You will pretty much pay half or 50% of the amount that you make. So it is what it is. You can't really do anything about it. We all love our government, don't we? And now let's talk about if you have a lower budget of, let's say, $150,000. You buy a typical 1-bedroom condo in Vancouver or Burnaby, or a 2-bedroom condo anywhere in the Fraser Valley. Surrey, Langley, doesn't matter. It's very similar. The prices, it all depends on which is a desirable neighborhood. So just make sure things are selling in the building that you're buying. So you buy a typical apartment for $495,000, $500,000. Again, 1-bedroom Vancouver, 2-bedroom Surrey. The closing cost $10,000, $510. You spend $30,000 on renovations, $540. The renovations will include typically a kitchen, bathroom, flooring, zebra blinds, and some light fixtures. $540 plus $20K on the closing cost for the realtor commissions. So $560 is the all-in price. Typically those units sell for like 590, 595. So you make 30K by spending $150,000. Again, the similar time frame, 3 to 4 months. Usually if it's a strata, of course there's stratified, so sometimes the strata can take like a few weeks to, you know, give you the permit to actually finish the renovation. So it's very similar time frame wise. So it's 4 months, 4 months, 350 you make 60K, 150 you make 30K. ROI wise, apartment makes more sense. It's just more people prefer buying land because it's easier to sell. In the worst case scenario, if the market goes down, the rental prices will most likely cover your mortgage. In apartment, there's like strata and stuff. It's just most investors don't really like strata. Depends on how what your budget is. There's many available options. Shoot me a message if you're looking for a reno or a fix and flip, and we'll go from there. Bye bye.